So as you all know, this week, it came out that a Hollywood bigwig, Harvey Weinstein, is actually a serial sexual harasser. I don't understand why there are so many famous people with a lot of money who feel the need to treat women like garbage. It makes no sense to me, but nonetheless, that's the reality. Harvey Weinstein is a serial sexual harasser. Now, the reason why I'm talking about him is because this actually is tied to politics, because he was also someone who contributed heavily to the Democratic Party. And now, as a result of the Democratic Party's association with him, a lot of Democrats are doing everything they can to distance themselves from him, and rightfully so. But the DNC, they're not. So according to Michael Sonato of The Observer, he reports in response to the New York Times' explosive revelations that film producer and executive Harvey Weinstein has a long record of sexual harassment, the Republican National Committee publicly called on Democrats to return the thousands of dollars in campaign donations they have received from Weinstein. The RNC cited that Weinstein has given around $300,000 to the DNC and over $1.2 million to Democratic politicians and political groups over the last 3 decades. Several Democratic senators who received money from Weinstein, including Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, have announced that they are donating the money they received from Weinstein to charity. So, for the most part, Democrats are doing the right thing on an individual level. But when it comes to the money that this pervert donated to the DNC, the $300,000 that he donated to the DNC, what are they choosing to do? Well, for the most part, they're keeping this money. They are literally keeping 90% of it at this point. There hasn't been any updates, but I'll put them on the screen if there is an update. But they're donating $30,000 to political groups that do what the DNC does, help Democrats get elected. So, according to Jonathan Easley of The Hill, the DNC said it will donate the $30,000 it received from him in the last campaign cycle to Emily's List, which supports women candidates that support abortion rights, Emerge America, which recruits and trains Democratic women for office, and Higher Heights, which supports black women running for office. The DNC said it chose the 3 groups because what we need is more women in power, not men like President Trump who continue to show us that they lack respect for more than half of America. In other words, the money that Harvey Weinstein gave the DNC to help get Democrats elected will still be used to help get Democrats elected. Now, the problem with this is that what they're doing is hiding behind women, and they're still keeping 90% of the money that they took from this pervert. But what little money that they're, quote, donating, they're putting it back into Democratic Party causes, when really it should be taken out of political causes, because Harvey Weinstein is a pervert. He should have no influence on politics whatsoever, which is why Chuck Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Elizabeth Warren chose to do the right thing. Now, if you really want to help women, imagine what domesticshelters.org could do with $300,000, or hell, even $30,000. And furthermore, if you really want to help Democrats get elected, and you want to help female Democrats get elected, then you want to know another organization that you could donate this to. It would still be political, but it'd be better. You could donate this to Justice Democrats, because they have a lot of female candidates. Amy Vilela, Cori Bush, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that's just a couple of them. Paula Jean Swearengin, I mean, there's a lot. So they don't really care about women or getting women elected. They're hiding behind women here, and they're trying to make it seem as though by keeping this money, it's not that bad, when really you're only donating 10% of your money and you're keeping the rest of it. I mean, why is it that no matter what, no matter how dirty and disgusting the donor is, the DNC insists on taking their money? I mean, after Haim Saban smeared Keith Ellison, arbitrarily so, and called him an anti-Semite, they still are allowing him to have an influence on the party. Keith Ellison was forced, I guess probably not on his own accord, but he was forced to make up with Haim Saban. One part I will say in defense of the DNC is that I don't approve of the RNC, because they take money from the most egregious figures in all of American politics. I mean, they are filled with shills for the NRA. They're filled with shills for the military-industrial complex. So their money also supports death and destruction. So the RNC should also give back all of their bad political contributions, and the DNC, don't stop at Harvey Weinstein. Give back all the money you took from Wall Street. Give back all the money you took from the military-industrial complex. This is why we need to get money out of politics. This is why we need a constitutional amendment to not only overturn Citizens United, but ensure that we publicly finance every single political race in this country. It's because really disgusting figures have a disproportionate level of influence in this country just because they have money. Our campaign finance system allows egregious, despicable figures like Harvey Weinstein to have a say when people who are actually well-intentioned, who are altruistic, don't have that same voice. So again, I'm going to allow the DNC some time, and I'll put an update on the screen if they choose to do the right thing and donate the rest of that money, but it doesn't look like they're going to do the right thing, and this is no surprise. It's business as usual for the DNC, and seeing that they're already short on money, and they've had pretty low fundraising months, in 2017. I think the last time they had fundraising this bad was in 2003. They're going to keep every dollar they can get, and this is because Tom Perez knows he's got to make cash quick. Otherwise, he's going to be forced to resign from, the elites in the party. So, it's despicable. It shows you that the DNC, they don't really care about their principles. They continuously claim how, they're principled and they stand up for their values when they represent nothing. They represent absolutely nothing, just platitudes. That's it.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.